Human Development Index. Now, HDI is about the development of humans. And how do we have to measure the development of humans? HDI has three important dimensions for that. First of all, let's write down the introduction, then I'll make you write the tables, one table. It emphasizes that people and their capabilities should be the ultimate criteria for assessing the development of a country. So it emphasizes that people and their capabilities should be the ultimate criteria for assessing development of a country. It measures average achievement. It measures average achievement of a country in three basic dimensions of human development. So there are three basic dimensions in which HDI is calculated. Okay, so if you have to see the human development, according to Mehboob Haq and Amartya Sen, this is how you measure development, by looking at three important dimensions. What are the three important dimensions? The dimensions are health. You have to look at the health of the people. If you want to check development, you have to look at knowledge or education. Education, that is an important dimension of development. And then you have to write the standard of living. So health, education, and standard of living. Please remember these three by heart, because they are included in almost every dimension or every index that we will study. Health, education, and standard of living. Health, education, and standard of living. So when you look at human development, these are the three dimensions according to HDI. You'll have to look at health, you'll have to look at education, you'll have to look at standard of living. Now, the other concept is, we know that these are the dimensions that you'll have to see. These are the dimensions that you'll have to calculate. But the problem is, how do you see the health of a person? Well, we know that we have actually designated that health, education, and standard of living are the important dimensions that we will be looking at. But what in health, and what in education, and what in standard of living? It is not mentioned. When you mention a dimension, you also have to mention the indicator of that dimension. Health has an indicator. How do we see the health? It has an indicator. How do you see education? It has an indicator. How do you see standard of living? It has an indicator. So once you have the dimensions, it is important for you to look at the indicators as well. And sometimes the question comes from the indicator section. So we will be looking at when we'll draw this particular table. The first dimension is the dimension of health. And how do you look at health? Well, Amartya Sen told us, and Mehboob Haq told us, that health can be looked at by looking at life expectancy. What is the life expectancy at birth? Fine, that would be an indicator of health. If the life expectancy is good, you are expecting that you will live for another 60 to 70 years. That is a good life expectancy. But if we only expect a person to live just for 30 or 34 years, then that is not a good life expectancy. So health can be indicated by life expectancy at birth. Life expectancy at birth. This is the indicator of health. If there is good life expectancy, that means the health conditions of the nation is good. Okay. Here you have to write the minimum value, and here you have to write the maximum value. Now, if you look at the health dimension and the indicator of life expectancy, we have this minimum value kept at 20 years. So 20 years would be the minimum life expectancy in some particular country. Minimum is 20 years. What is the maximum? The maximum is 83.5 years, close to 84 years. So that is the maximum life expectancy. It is the average value. Somebody can live for even for 110 years, but this 83.5 is the average value. So minimum would be 20 and maximum would be 83.5. This is the life expectancy. And the country has to get its own score. What's its own score in life expectancy? And this life expectancy, this health indicator, this health dimension is actually indicated by LEI. We call it LEI. This LEI means life expectancy index. That is the dimension index. This is the DI for health. What is the DI for health? Life expectancy index, LEI. Now the second dimension is the dimension of education. And the education dimension has to be covered with some indicator. And the indicator for education that we have there are two indicators. Amartya Sen and N.J. Cole gave us two indicators of education. The first indicator of education, indicator 1, is mean years of schooling. Mean years of schooling. Mean years of schooling. Denoted by MYS. Mean years of schooling. The second indicator for education is expected years of schooling. Expected years of schooling. Expected years of schooling denoted by EYS. Okay. So mean years of schooling and expected years of schooling. Now you might ask, sir, what is mean year of schooling? What is MYS? And what is EYS? That is expected years of schooling. That is mean years of schooling is that average number of years, average number of schooling or average number of education received by people aged 25 or more than 25. So this is an average number of schooling done by people that are aged 25 or more than 25. Average number of schooling or average number of years of schooling, average number of years of education received by people that are aged 25 or more than 25 or about 25 during their entire lifetime. This is the mean years of schooling. What is the average number of schooling done by people that are on the above 25 age group? Okay. Average number of schooling, average number of years of education, average number of years of education received by people aged 25 or above. 25 or above during their lifetime. During their lifetime. What is the average number of schooling? आमतौर पर on an average एक adult ने अपनी पूरी जिंदगी में, एक बंदा जिसकी उम्र 25 या उससे ज्यादा है, उस इंसान ने अपनी पूरी जिंदगी में on an average कितने साल एजुकेशन ली है? A person who has an age of 25 or above, on an average, what is the number of schooling that he has done in his entire lifetime? एक इंसान जिसकी उम्र 25 या उससे ज्यादा है, उसने अपनी जिंदगी में कितने साल स्कूल में दिए हैं? शॉर्ट में कितने साल एजुकेशन लिए? The second is expected years of schooling. The second is expected years of schooling. Expected years of schooling is similar to mean year of schooling. Expected years of schooling is average number of years of education received by people less than 25 years of age. Less than 25 years of age. So on an average, what are the number of years of education that are received by people that are aged less than 25 years? Okay, that means आमतौर पर जो 25 साल से कम उम्र के बच्चे हैं, उन्होंने कितने साल स्कूल में दिए? That is expected years of schooling, EYS. So let's give this the value. the mean year of schooling, the minimum value, what would be the minimum value? Minimum value kitna hai? 0. 0 is the minimum value. Mean year of schooling is 0. And expected year of schooling, the minimum value is 0. Why? Because about 25 people that are adults, 30 and 40 and 50, they are the people of the higher age group. The average number of schooling they have done is less compared to the people that are less than 25, because now we have seen even the poorest of the poor people, they are actually educating their children. Currently, in this present time, even the poorest of the poor people are trying to educate their children. That is why expected year of schooling is more. Therefore, the mean year of schooling maximum value is 15 years. The expected year of schooling maximum value is 18 years. Okay. So expected year of schooling is more than your mean year of schooling. So how would you actually, what is the dimension index of education? The dimension index of education would be average of mean year of schooling and expected year of schooling. So what you have to do here is you have to take an average of mean year of schooling and expected year of schooling. That would give you the education index, EI. This is life expectancy index. This is education index. Education index. Then we have standard of living. The indicator of standard of living is GNI per capita. GNI, gross national income per capita, or gross national product per capita, and it is at PPP. What is PPP? Purchasing power parity. Now this is the standard of living. Standard of living will be calculated by GNI per capita. What would that be? GNI per capita would be the total gross national income of the nation divided by total population of the country. That will give you GNI per capita or per head. So what is the total national income of the nation divided by total population? That will give you the per capita income or the GNI per capita. But this GNI per capita will be, say for example, you have to see India's total national income divided by India's total population. And say for example, you get some per capita income, say for example, 80,000 rupees. 80,000 rupees. This is your per capita income. But this 80,000 rupees is actually denoted in rupees. It is actually calculated in rupees. And we actually want GNI per capita in dollars. Why? Because this index is actually created by United Nations, and United Nations, when it will come out with this index, should have standard of living measured in dollars for international comparison. But when you take the national income of the country, say for example India, and divide it by the total population of India, you'll get the value in rupees. Now you have to convert this rupees into dollars. You have to convert this rupees into dollars. How would you convert the rupee into dollar? You will not convert it in terms of prevailing exchange rate. We don't convert this money in terms of prevailing exchange rate. The prevailing exchange rate is $1 is equal to close to 75 rupees. Say for example, 75 rupees. This is the prevailing exchange rate. We will not convert the GNI per capita into dollars at the prevailing exchange rate. No, we will convert it at purchasing power parity. And that is different than the exchange rate system. Purchasing power parity can be understood by one important index, by one important concept. I'll give you just an idea about what the purchasing power parity is. Yes, Big Mac index. The Big Mac index. What is the Big Mac index? You will get an idea of the purchasing power parity through the Big Mac index. Say for example, there is McDonald's. McDonald's is a fast food chain in the entire world. It is in United States, it is in India as well. And this McDonald's has franchises all over the world, and it serves almost the same food throughout the world. In United States, they actually sell a burger by the name of King Burger, king burger. And the same burger in India is known as the Maharaja burger. Maharaja burger. I hope you have not eaten that Maharaja burger. So this Maharaja burger is actually the same burger like we have in United States, the king burger. Now, this, for example, if the king burger is worth $1 in United States, what the purchasing power should tell you is that how much will it cost in India? That is, how much dollar it cost me in United States and how much rupees is it costing me in India. That would give me the purchasing power parity. That is the difference in the purchasing power of these two currencies. In India, we will get it, say, for example, at rupees 24. So if you're getting the king burger that is in United States for $1, if you're getting that particular burger in India for 24 rupees, that would give us the purchasing power parity, the difference in the purchasing power of these two currencies. And that is $1 is equal to 24 rupees. This is the exchange rate. It is not the prevailing exchange rate, the market exchange rate. No, it is according to the purchasing power parity. Now, when you get the GNI per capita, then you'll have to convert it into the dollar at purchasing power parity. India was one of the fastest growing economy at purchasing power parity. Fine, not at the prevailing exchange rate. Now, the minimum value for GNI per capita of a particular nation is $100. $100 is the minimum value. Okay. And the maximum value is $87,000. $87,000. It is the maximum value that was seen actually in Qatar. Qatar is one of those countries that has the maximum GNI per capita. It is close to $87,478. So the per capita income in Qatar is is almost the highest in the world. Per capita income in Qatar, because the population is less and they have huge money. Yes, 87 on an average. Each person in Qatar makes $87,000 on an average. Some can make more than that, and some can make less than that. But this is the average value, $87,000. This is GNI per capita. What is the dimension index for that? That is GI. That is GI is the dimension index for GNI per capita, also known as GNI index. It is also known as GNI index.